It historically lines up that assassin can have multiple based organ, even if it's going off of the early assassins with an H as an organization.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta. This is Justin, and sorry, my memory is going today. Even though I just recorded with you 2 to 3 times already.
Yep.
I walked into a kitchen and forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, how about you go ahead and remind us of what happened last time?
Indeed. Let me walk into this intro and forget what happened. We started, I believe, with discussion. No, hold on. I believe we started off with Sarah and the girl whose name begins with an I getting off the plane.
Nope.
No?
You were right the first time. Although I don't know if that was the right discussion you were talking about. It did start with a discussion.
What I was gonna say is we started off with the reveal of Assassin having multiple
Still wrong.
people. Oh, was that the correct episode?
Yeah. I'll,
Okay,
I'll set you up.
we're there.
The discussion that we started off with was between Gilgamesh and
Oh yeah,
Takashi.
it 100%. It was Gilgamesh being like, "Hey, that was too easy. Come on,
Also, the straight up
like
reveal
something
of
I
his
want."
name.
Yeah. But within the episode, we had the arrival in Japan of Saber and one of the competitors' wives. Names are not coming to me right now. They might next recording. We will see. We did not. We also had spent some time with Alexander the Great and the young man who is clearly not like him whatsoever.
Name of a cake.
Nope.
Velvet.
Velvet? That's a sick name.
Well,
Oh, and
Waver
Velvet.
Velvet. His last name is Velvet. Waver
Yeah,
Velvet.
that's even better. And at one point, they were sitting on top of a bridge, him panicking, I'm guessing prepared to watch the fight that I will mention down the road of in this explanation. But through the exploration of Tokyo, because they were in Japan, correct?
It's not Tokyo. If you recall, the Grail is in a very specific place. I don't know if to call it a town or a township or something like that. Sorry, it's escaping my mind
Got it.
too. It starts with an S. Shojiko or Shoshiki or
Shinjuku?
Shochiki? It's an SH name, and I believe it
Wherever
ends with a KI.
wherever it is, there was some exploration going on, and that is when Lancer revealed themselves. And a fight between Saber and Lancer is about to happen.
I will add, and this is just gonna be like a cross anime thing, only that it
Yep.
applies to 2 different anime. I believe this place is based on a real location, and something I didn't mention when we were watching Jujutsu Kaisen, but the
Yep.
location of the technical school that the Jujutsu Academy thing or whatever it's called is also a
Mm-hmm.
real location in Japan. Just so you know that for Jujutsu Kaisen as well. They're
Oh
both
snap.
real places. Um, yeah, yeah. You had the walkthrough with Saber and God, I always forget her name. Starts with an I. Um,
Ishbal?
no, Ishval is the daughter, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, you had them walking through the city basically because we had her going on about how little she actually experiences of the real world, and Saber being like, "Well, it's a knight's duty to escort." So, the concept of them when they're materialized have knowledge of the world that they're in, which is why she said
Yes.
it's not that interesting for me to ride on a plane, even though as King Arthur I never rode on a plane before because I have all this knowledge now. Um, oh,
Correct. Which is interesting because then would that have different levels of intelligence with the servants? Because we had Alexander being so amazed by bombers.
Well, I think that adds to the previous, or it adds to the concept of they get the skill set that they kind of had, or what aligns to the skills that they had in life. Like she was able to pilot the
Got it.
plane. She would be able to pilot the plane because she was able to ride various beasts and vehicles in real
Mm-hmm.
life. I don't know about what you were saying about Alexander. I was about to mention that he was watching the news and declared Bill Clinton his greatest rival. Uh,
Yeah.
that might just be him doing research. I mean, I don't know. You're saying,
So if they have, it depends on. I'm questioning the level of learning done upon materialization.
well, I mean, I feel like your implication is that you're saying Alexander the Great is dumber than King Arthur.
That is the implication because if you, I
But
don't know.
would Alexander the Great be dumber than King Arthur? King Arthur, of course, would have been great with like social intelligence, even I guess maybe not, considering what happened between his wife and Lancelot. But King Arthur was a genius when it came to like sieges and crap with like actual machinery. So
I do think Alexander the Great and Arthur would have different types of intelligence.
I mean, it could just be interest.
I think so.
Like Alexander the Great could just be interested. Like I know it all, but I want to like read more. Like
It very much could be.
could also be the difference between experience and knowledge. I have the knowledge of all this, but what do people say? What's the hands-on accounts? He's reading military handbooks, or not handbooks. They look just like military magazines, which would be not so much like these are the stats of a gun, but these are my experiences as the author of the article about how this gun feels when I shoot it, which would be different things than just knowledge.
Indeed, indeed. I hope that's something that gets answered. Do I expect it to? No.
And you already covered the multiple assassin thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I guess we just walked into a shipping yard where Lancer and Saber seem to be about to fight. And
Correct.
dude's wife says, I have the ability, I have healing magic if you need me to back you up.
Which is good to know. I don't think it'll matter this fight, but I think that's going to be a future moment that will matter.
Well, I believe Saber said, leave it to me, sort of like don't interrupt the fight, because again, it's the king of knights, as it were.
Yeah.
I mean, other than
But yeah.
that,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
all right. Well, I guess let's just go ahead and get on into it then.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
it's just $5 a month. But hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
See what I mean about Saber's weapon?
Charm の魔術。
悪いが持って生まれた呪いのようなものでな。こればかりはいかんともしが
Another
たい。
hint about who he is.
俺の出生か、もしくは女に生まれた自分を恨んでくれ。
その結構な面構えで、よもや私の剣が鈍るものと期待してはいるまいな。やりつかい。
そうなっていたら興ざめ
Quick
も
defense of
甚だ
him.
しい。
He's
What
not
is-
being sexist when he says that either.
セイバークラスの
It's literally part of his character as a historical
結
person.
構。 この顔のせいで腰の抜けた女を切るのでは俺の面目に関わる。最初の一人が
No, you can tell that that it's not.
ほう、尋常な勝負を所望であったか。誇り高い英霊と相まみえたのは私にとっても幸いだ。
それではいざ。
What wrong with Saber's weapon?
They'll either address it in this episode or the next.
Because right now it looks like a light saber.
Totally doesn't. I don't know where you're pulling that from.
No, I mean light saber, not lightsaber.
No, I mean, I'm disagreeing with
Big
you on that
balls.
point as well.
誰が見たってそう思うだろう。マイヤは東側の岸壁から回り込め。僕は西側から行く。セイバーたちの戦闘と、それとデリック・クレーンの両方を見張れるポイントにつくんだ。
わかりました。
では、お手並み拝見だ。かわいい騎士王さん。
So yeah, all those guns that they set up in that hotel room with, they've brought to this fight as well.
They're just trying to be hella efficient. They're trying to get work done.
Well, I mean, that's what he was described as by everybody else.
Also, magic. That's a great way to handle it. Just being like, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna worry about your servant. I need you.
I mean, technically, I guess if the master is no longer there, the servant has nothing to fight for.
Exactly. Well, because isn't it also the master that allows the servants to actually materialize and do their thing?
Well, I believe Waver mentioned it earlier when he said to Alexander, "Why are you in your physical form?" Because I have to expend mana to keep you around. So one assumes if there's no master around expending mana, then the servant wouldn't even be able to take physical form. That's my interpretation, though. I don't actually know.
It sounds about right. No, the reason why England's with this guy as well is because there's the piece in the end credits that looks like a dragon or a beast. And that could also fit in with his idea.
セイバーは2本の槍を同時に警戒してるんだわ。ランサーの切り札がどちらの槍かわからないから。
右の長槍、左の短槍。果たしてどちらが宝具なのか。それを見極めることができれば、勝負のかけようもあるというものだが。
せめて神明さえわかればいいんだけど。
I guess knowing who you're fighting, and the aspect of knowing who they actually are. But I guess in that aspect also, the more famous you are, implies that the more people would know what your powers are.
It would make it harder to defend if you can't see the blade of the sword.
Don't you love being right just moments before? Let me just target my wife real quick. Alright.
Mhm. I wonder if there's going to be any interference in this fight.
まあいいや。セイバーたちの北東方向。倉庫の屋根の上にランサーのマスターがいる。見えるか？
Now, there you go. Now you know who Lancer's master is.
いいえ、私の位置からは死角のようです。
わかった。こちらで仕留める。
And gone.
Assassin.
Nope, Assassin's watching the fight too.
ミオン川河口の倉庫街で
Yeah.
動きがありました。いよいよ最初の戦闘が始まったようです。最初という言い分はあるまい。公式には第2戦だよ。綺麗。戦っているのは
Yeah.
どうやらセイバー、それにランサーのようです。アサシンの目からでもサーバントのステータスは読み取れるか？問題なく。とりわけセイバーは能力値に恵まれています。大型のパラメーターが A ランク相当。
This is why I said there's stat cards.
なるほどな。
Yeah.
さすがは最強クラスといったところか。ランサーよりセーバーの方が厄介そうだな。マスターは信任できるか？堂々と姿を晒しているのはサーバント以外では一人だけ。セイバーの背後に控えています。銀髪の女です。ならばランサーのマスターには身を隠すだけの知恵があると。素人ではないな。この聖杯戦争の
Lancer was the teacher, right?
待て。
Hasn't been confirmed yet.
So many characters we've met so far.
I mean, not. This isn't one with a massive amount of characters you gotta keep track of.
どうにも人間離れした風情に見えますが。
I'll say what, there's 7 servants. So at most, you know, or at the least, you know there's gonna be 14. And I would say it doesn't get much more than that. So it's not one of those massive
Okay.
ones. The board isn't going to be super complicated.
Got it.
アインツベルンのマスターなのですか。ともかくその女は聖杯戦争の趨勢を握る重要な鍵だ。キレ、決して目を離すな。了解しました。ではジョージ、一人を
And
つけ
once
て
I'm able to show you the board, you'll be able to remember names easier.
こちらも死にしました。ですが、どうして死んだはずのアサシンが。
やはり裏があったな。
It historically lines up that assassin can have multiple based organ, even if it's going off of the like early assassins with the assassins with an H as an organization.
あそこに陣取ったのがアサシンだということが問題だ。今我々には対サーバント戦の備えがない。
わかりました。
So yeah, Lancer, Saber, his wife, his assistant slash whatever, him, Lancer's master, and assassin all here at the moment.
ともかく賞賛を受け取れ。ここに至って汗一つかかんとは女だてらに見上げたやつだ。
無用な謙遜だぞ、ランサー。貴殿の名を知らぬとはいえ、その槍さばきをもってその賛辞。私には誉れだ。ありがたく頂戴しよう。
じゃれ合いはそこまでだ、ランサ
ー。ランサーのマスター。
これ以上勝負を長引かせるな。そこのセイバーは難敵だ。速やかに始末しよう。ホーグの会長を許す。
了解した。我が主よ。
あの長宗の方がランサーのホーグ。
そういうわけだ。ここから先は取りに行かせてもらう。セイバー、お前は束ねた風の魔力で剣を隠したままか？
That's right, it's a wind blade, not a
剣を覆
lightsaber.
い隠しておきたい理由がお前にはあるということか。お前の神明、その剣にあると見た。
残念だな、ランサー。貴殿が我が宝剣の正体を知ることはない。その前に勝負を決めて
I
み
mean,
せ。
makes sense, right?
それはどうかな。
One of the world's most famous
見えない剣
blades.
を暴かせてもらう
If
ぞ。
you're trying to keep yourself hidden, can't let people know what your sword's called.
晒したな、秘蔵の剣を。
インビジブルエアがほつれた。
So Saber's at a major disadvantage in this fight because of the range.
Well, I mean, you're picking up on the other element, right? The last thing Saber said, basically.
Oh yeah, no. If that thing hits Saber, it's
インビ
a
ジブルエアを
problem.
削っている。
It's more than
あな
that.
たも確かに見て取った。これでもう見えぬ間合いに惑わされることはない。
You can see what I'm talking about every time they clash.
まだ応じようもある。甘い一撃を。見逃さなければ。
Oh snap!
ありがとう、アイリス・ピール。大丈夫。治癒は効いています。
やはり、やすやすと勝ちを取らせてはくれんか。
だがなぜあの一撃なら十分に鎧で防げたはず。なのになぜ槍の刃。
Does it go through armor?
どういうことだ。
That's messed up.
ランサーの槍が魔力でアンの鎧を通り抜けたとしか。
There's your big clue right there.
そうか。その槍の秘密が見えてきたぞ。
ね
ランサー。
ほう。
その赤い槍は魔力を断つのだな。
その甲冑は魔力で生成さ
That's
れ
why I said every time they clashed, that was
そ
the
れを
big
頼
hint.
みにしていたのなら
Every time his thing
Yeah.
hit her sword, the wind magic thing went away, so you could see the blade. Every time his thing strikes magic, it dissipates the
盾
magic.
になってもらっては困る。
Yeah.
防ぎ得ぬ槍ならば防ぐより先に切るまでのこと。覚悟してもらおう、ランサー。
思い切ったものだな。
Let me fight you in a dress, because the armor is useless anyways.
Yeah, it's less heavy.
鎧を捨てること
True.
の利点で覆す。その
You know, the end of 300, if you will.
潔い決断。決して嫌いではないがな。この場に限って言わせてもらえば、それは失策だったぞ、セイバー。
さてどうだか。還元は次の打ち込みを受けてからにしてもらおうか。
それは失策だったぞ。
宝具は決して単一とは限らない。
Remember he dropped his spear a little while ago?
Yeah.
いかんな。これはいかん。
何がだよ。
ランサーのやつめ、決め技に訴えおった。早々に勝負を決める気だ。
いや、
I love the way he said that. Finishing move.
バカ者、何を言っとるか。もう何人か出揃うまで様子を見たかったのだが、あのままではセイバーが脱落しかねん。そうなってからでは遅い。
遅いって。奴らが潰し合うのを待ってから襲う計画だったんじゃないか。
確かに世は他のサーバントがランサーの挑発に乗って出てこないものかと期待しておった。当然であろう。一人ずつ探し出すよりもまとめて相手にした方が手っ取り早いではないか。
まとめて相手？
おうとも、異なる時代の英雄豪傑と矛を交える機会などめったにない。それが6人も揃うとなれば一人たりとも逃してはあるまい。現にセイバーとランサー、あの二人にしてからが共に胸の熱くなるようなマスラオどもだ。死なすには惜しい。
死なさないでどうすんのさ。聖杯戦争は殺し合いだってば。
Flavor's all about the point.
勝利してなお滅ぼさぬ、制覇してなお恥ずかしめぬ。それこそが真の征服である。
Honor.
見物はここまでだ。我らも参じるぞ。ポズ。
バカバカバカ。お前やってることでたらめだ。
気に食わぬならこの場所に残って見ているか。
行きます。連れて行けバカ。
よし。
I mean, or I'll
He's
fall,
going through it.
I'll fall off this bridge and die.
Yeah.
まずいことに剣を切られた。親指が動かない。
つくづく
Oh.
すんなり勝たせてはくれんのか。良いがな、その不屈ぶりは。
何を悠長なことを言っている。バカ、人の骨を折って。
And he knows healing magic too.
痛み入る。我が主よ。
アイリ
Makes
ス、
sense. He fucking teaches magic.
私にも治癒を。
かけたわ。かけたのに。そんな。治癒は間違いなく効いているはずよ。セイバー、あなたは今の状態で感知しているはずなの。
我がゲイジャルグを前にして、鎧が無意だと悟ったまではよかった。
Another clue to who he is.
が、鎧を捨てたのは早計だった。そうでなければ、ゲイボーは防げていたものを。
なるほど。ひとたびうがてば、その傷を決して癒さぬという呪いの槍。もっと早くに気づくべきだった。魔を立つ積層、呪いの王相。加えて、乙女を惑わす右目の泣きぼくろ。ピオナ騎士団、随一の戦士。輝く顔のディルムット。まさか、手合わせの
That's who
栄
he
に
is.
預かるとは思いませんでした。
それがこの聖杯
Name I have
の
never
ようで
heard.
あろうな。だがな、誉れ高いのは
I
俺の
mean,
方。
but you can Google him. He is a real
時空
historical
を超えて
person.
英霊の座にまで招かれたものならば、その黄金の宝剣を見違いはせん。かの名高き騎士王とつばぜり合って、一矢報いるまでに至ったとは。どうやらこの俺も捨てたものではないらしい。さて、互いの名も知れたところで、ようやく騎士として尋常なる勝負を挑めるわけだが、それとも、片腕を奪われた後では不満かな、セイバ
ー。ざれ言。この程度の手傷に気兼ねされたのでは、むしろ屈辱だ。
覚悟しろセイバー。次こそは取る。
それは私に取られなかった時の話だぞ、ランサー。
チャリオット。
双方剣を収めよ。王の前であるぞ。我が名は征服王イスカンダル。こたびの聖杯戦争においてはライダーのクラスを得て限界した。
Well, now you know who that guy is.
Yes. Okay. Archer's been answered, Lancer's been answered, Saber's been answered, Assassin's been answered. The only one we're really missing is the Beast.
You mean Berserker? Let's see. Diamide. Sorry. The problem is Irish. That's why I was saying the names of his blades were a big hint. See, it's Irish. Diamond, Divine. I'm not getting that right. Also known as Diamond of the Love Spot, is a hero and demigod in Finian cycle of Irish mythology, traditionally thought to be set in the 2nd to 4th century. He is the son of Don, son of Dubeth of Fianna. Diamond is best known as the lover of grain, the intended wife of Fianna leader Fionn mac Cumhaill, in the legend The Pursuit of Diarmid and Ghislaine.
Beast.
Yeah, and I think I got it wrong technically. I think one more episode is where I would let you then tell us who you would pick, because I think that's where everybody shows up. Not to spoil that, but...
So, yeah. The only one we're missing, the bug guy and Beast. I'm going to call it Beast, even though I think it's correct based off that title.
Oh yeah, it's Berserker. We know all the classes.
Oh yeah, Berserker. Yeah. I have no clue who the Berserker could be.
I mean, here's the thing. We were only going to record 3 episodes. You want to go one more since we're before our normal recording length?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
If next episode reveals Berserker, let's do it.
And we'll reveal everyone, so it'll give you the shot to say who your pick is, to the point where I think you'll know relationships. One last thing for this episode, at least from my aspect, famous weapons. Diamond also owns several weapons known by specific names, including, I'm bad with Irish. The one that you saw, the yellow spear, Cranboldy, the yellow shaft, and Gabe Dearg, the red spear. The spears inflict wounds that cannot be healed.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to throw a theory out there. Is there technically a main character of this show? I know we have technically a main character.
I mean, you think you know that we have technically a main character.
Okay.
I would say maybe. I don't know. I'm hard pressed. I want to say no, but I'm also in the position of thinking that maybe some characters are more main than not. So maybe.
I think the is going to be a hit figure connected to either Alexander or Arthur. Because those two have been set up as the sort of like viewer proxy characters.
Maybe. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I don't know if I'd consider them viewer proxy, because viewer proxy tends to be the everyman type character. And nobody here is so generic as to be an everyman.
Yeah, so proxy was the wrong term. They are more the home team is the better way to describe it.
I guess technically there is no home team because everybody came here from another country, I think. Let's see. Waver comes from England. He says, I want to go home to England.
Yep.
Which implies that Kenneth, who teaches the school, must also come from England. We know the mercenary comes from Germany. We know... who else is there? I'm pretty sure...
I'm just going off of amount of time we've spent with them and the sort of...
I've never thought about it before, but I'm just occurring to me now that I think literally all of our characters are in Japan.
Character arcs.
Well, just saying, it occurs to me now that it never occurred to me before that all of our characters are in Japan, are not Japanese. Not a single one that I can think of. Well, maybe Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke has obviously got to be the Japanese character. The name Ryunosuke.
Yes.
I don't know about Matao. Matao might be? Kiritsugu might be? Sorry. Now I'm backtracking. Kiritsugu is... This is literally where he comes from. His wife specifically says, now we're in my husband's home country. We just don't spend time with him. Okay. Maybe 3 out of 7 are Japanese. I don't know, you threw it in my head and I went on a tangent.
Alright, well, if we, I think the fight was very interesting. I also like the idea that Alexander is like, this fight isn't big enough. No, don't kill each other now. We need everybody here.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be a next episode play-out thing. I think we can gotta see what we see.
Oh, I don't even think that'll be a next episode play out. I think I think we might have maybe 1 or 2 at most spirits or servants be defeated up until the end. And then the last bit is like big fight with basically all of them.
Well, obviously, I don't want to give anything away that I know. Because it just occurred to me that I was about to say something that would then set your expectations for the next 6 episodes. So, I don't want to... Because any minor thing that I say, you could just, like, look into, and then, like, oh, no, I've given too much away. Was that everything, then?
I'm gonna throw out a possibility for Berserker. Which I don't think it's true. However, I think it would be a incredible choice. Merlin.
That would be insane.
That would be so insane, but I would be so here for it. That's the note I want to leave on.
Yeah. Okay, well. Then I have been Theta, this has been Justin, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?